Hello, in this video we'll have a look at the Piral Notifications plugin, how to use it and what is it good for. We start by installing the plugin Piral Notifications in the next version. Keep in mind that we are installing this plugin in an app shell that only uses Piral Core. If you're using the full Piral framework, then you don't need to install or configure anything. This will just work because the full Piral framework already comes with Piral notifications. In our plugins, we just add the notifications API and that's it. And now we have a new API available. Now, in contrast to something like Piral models, there is no register notification. But you can just show a notification now. In the simplest case, that's just one tiny string for the content. And that's it. Let's see how that looks. We go here, but nothing is shown. And the reason is similar to something like Piral models. We first need to integrate it somehow in our layout. But let's change this and let's just have this in a function. Just to see that this is really not showing up right. So what we will do now is we add notifications to our app shell, and same principle as with Piral models, Piral dashboard, etc. We still have a helper component that comes from the plugin. So if you now use it, you see hello world being displayed below show notification. That's great already. So quite good. And we can actually show multiple notifications. Great. Maybe we should also already auto close this after 2 seconds, let's say. So we put it in here, and after 2 seconds that just goes away. So quite cool, that already works. Not much to do here. We can also give it a title. And we could also give it a type. But you only see hello world. And the reason is that this was not, of course, really styled. So we could, of course, do that. Now we have a notifications host. Let's say we don't touch this for the moment, but we have the notifications toast, which actually defines now how a notification should look like. We will put it in a div. And then we get the children, we've seen that, and we get the options. So for instance, we could take the title here, or the children. And even more, say we make this strong anyway, we could also, of course, have a styling. That depends here on the used type. So for instance, if the type is error, we could show that in green, or let's do it like this, get color, and switch function get color. Color will be a string, or this will be rather the type. We will switch the type. By default, we will just show that in the default color. But if the type is error, we want to have it in red. If the case is warning, we want to have it in orange. And if the case is info or success, maybe, let's have it in green. Great, so that is already good. And now let's have a look. Show, and you see it's already shown in red and it's disappearing after 2 seconds. So maybe we change it here. And now you see it's in green, so that's good. What we also may want is to just have a border to see this is also working. So let's put a border in here. You see this is really large. Did a little bit of padding. And finally we are ready to put it all in a notifications host. So how can this look like? Well, could be quite simple. It could just be styled to be positioned fixed. The bottom with 2 amps distance, and maybe to be also positioned in the middle. So one example to do that would be that on the left we use it at 30% and on the right, but maybe we would just give it something like a width of 20 EMs with a max width of 100%. Always think of mobile. And left and right would maybe be set to 0 to have it in the middle anyway. And now the children of course need to be placed. In between the opening and the closing tag. And that semi works of course. So we still want to place it correctly. We also still need to have the margin auto to have it in the middle, of course. But now we have this notification system, and we can even make this a little bit better by giving each one also a margin of 0.5 EMs, and that way they are not colliding so much. As you can see, it already works quite nicely. The cool thing about these notifications is that you can also write something more difficult than just text. You can actually provide React code in here. Hi there, I am Florian. And this way you can actually style this also and transport even complicated things like links, etc. Thanks.